All right, folks. It's time for Random Rush. You know what that means? I listen to Rush Limbaugh for 60 seconds or so, and I respond in 90 or so. It is now 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's listen in.
5% donated to charity, which is fine. Look, they're not breaking any law doing it. My only point is they get the benefit of the doubt of being deeply compassionate and caring greatly about people when there are lots of other charities that pass 80, 90, 95, in some cases 99%. One of the charities we support here is the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation, 99% pass through. You give them $1, 99 cents goes to the beneficiary. Nobody makes a dime personally at MCLEF and a couple of others. But the Clinton Foundation's 5% gets passed through. Anyway, brief timeout is open line. Friday continues. Much more on the other side.
Rush Limbaugh, simply fascinating on the EIB network. 97.5 FM and 600 AM.
All right. So wait a second. So Rush Limbaugh is saying that the Clinton Foundation's pass-through is 5%, which is like 4% less, I think, than even Mike Pence claimed the other night in the debate. And the reality is that the Clinton Foundation passes through something like 87, is it 87% or 90%? Are you looking that up? And it is it's not only an accredited charity, unlike the Trump Foundation, but it also got a rating, I think. What is it? 100% rating from Charity Watch. The Clinton pass-through rate is, I think, 87%.
Says 88% in 2014.
88% in 2014, but it probably went down to 5% in 2015.
Let's take some money from the AIDS budget and party.
He's only 79% off, guys.
It is, I mean, this is why they have Donald Trump. Because all those people, well, including probably Donald Trump, who listens to Rush Limbaugh, think that number is true and don't bother to Google it or whatnot, or to the extent that they do, they realize like, oh, this is just the media protecting the Clinton Foundation. Now, look, obviously, what's that? They can't. Oh, it's public? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, public. Thanks, Kelly. But
yeah, as in public sector worker.
Very naive.
That's my time. That was pretty easy to debunk Rush Limbaugh today, but who knew he would be so nakedly lying?
Maybe we could even give it another shot. Another
Later
10
in the
minutes.
program.
I was actually thinking, the other thing, I mean, it's so, but when Pence was dropping that number and he was saying, and he said, and this is also the Clintons can keep flying around. And it's just like, yeah, because Hillary as Secretary of State would basically be doing like continental coach with like 2 aides without the Clinton Foundation. It makes perfect sense.
People don't seem to understand that presidents past presidents get a budget from the U.S. government. And I've always gotten a budget from the U.S. government to have a staff. I mean, so the benefits that they accrue personally from the Clinton Global Foundation, I mean, I guess there are some in the sense that, like, you're engaged in a charity and people invite you places and you go, like, but it is, and there's definitely clearly, like, people who, there is a correlation between people who contributed money to the the Clinton Foundation and who had access to the Clintons. But I think that people have it backwards.
That's right. No, it's the same thing with the plane rides, which again I think are a legitimate and valid concern and criticism. But if you're saying backwards, as in they had that access to begin with because they have pre-established relationships and many shared goals.
Yes, they're all swimming in the same waters. I mean, that is the biggest problem, is that these people only deal with wealthy people who could contribute millions.
So you're trying to make a structural critique, Sam, and that's laudable. But what you're missing is that my wife is an evil, two-faced bitch who cannot wait to nuke Syria.
I mean,
I can only hope the Parkinson's gets her first, or we're all doomed.
hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.